Hey everyone, it's Kevin Brown. Wanted to stop by with a hero effect moment and talk for just a minute about what's going on in the world. Here I am in my home office. There's no stage for me to be on today. There's no meetings that are going on. And in many ways, our world has just come to a complete stop, and it's eerie and it's frightening, and it's creating a lot of panic, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of worry. And I've received a lot of emails, a lot of texts, a lot of messages about how do we lead in times like this? How do we get through this as families, as people, as business owners? What do we do to get through this? And I've thought a lot about this. We've been blessed to go around the world and talk about this idea called the hero effect. And if you know anything at all about our philosophy, we believe that heroes are extraordinary people who choose not to be ordinary. And if ever there was a time not to be ordinary, it's now. And one thing I do know for sure, America is made up of extraordinary people, heroes at every level. You can look at everything that's going on. And once we get past the fear, the worry, the anxiety, the news of what's happening, you can look to your left and your right and see heroes up and down every street in America, from small business owners to educators to healthcare providers to truck drivers to grocery store workers to banks to anything that you can think of, utility workers, cable companies, phone companies, cellular companies. You can look all around you and find people who are bending the rules, breaking the rules, doing what's required to get us through this. And I can assure you, we will get through this because we're Americans, and Americans always come together to get through crisis. This is a nation that was built and forged on getting through crisis, on overcoming the things that were unachievable, to getting through obstacles that nobody thought we could. And I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to look past the fear, put on the lens of optimism and see past what is happening right now. My good friend Simon Bailey says, the great ones see what everyone else sees, but they understand it differently. And I think it's important that we understand things differently. For example, as business owners, what can we do to help our people? What can we do to help our customers? What do our customers need from us? What products and services do they need? And how can we get creative to get it to them? For example, if we can't go to the restaurant, a lot of the restaurants are delivering. If we can't get out and get to these places, people are bringing those supplies and those things to us. And I think there are things that we can do as a team to get together and to think about ideas that we can creatively still serve our customers. But beyond that, the humanity piece of this, what are we doing? Are we calling our customers who may be elderly or in high-risk categories? Are we checking on them, seeing how they're doing? What's going on? What can we do? How can we serve them in their time of need? What can we do as leaders to help make sure that our people are taken care of to the best of our ability? And listen, heroes always move into uncertainty, not knowing the answers. I think everybody's looking for all of the answers. And the truth is we don't know what all of the answers are. We don't know what right looks like, but heroes always run into the storm and they figure it out as they go. There was a show that I watched growing up. There's a remake of it now, but the original MacGyver starred Richard Dean Anderson, and MacGyver had this ability to take whatever the resources were around him to solve the most pressing problems that he was facing. And it was unorthodox, and it was creative, and it was different. There was no playbook. He used his imagination, his creativity, and his wit to get through those circumstances, the chaos, the crisis, so to speak. And we're certainly in the midst of a crisis. And listen, I understand the fear. I understand the worry. I'm a small business owner too. I'm a leader. I have people who depend on me. And here's the truth. I can't give what I do not have. When I'm in the midst of crisis, whether it's personal, and I've been through my share of those, when I stumble and fall, when I don't do the things that I need to do, worry and anxiety compounds the problem. The only time I've ever been able to get through the storms in my life is when I step back and get perspective, when I reach out and get help, when I surround myself with people who will feed my mind with positive, proactive steps that I can take to right the ship, to get out of the situation, to course correct, so to speak. And I think it's an important lesson. And here's the other thing that I know. Leaders always know when it's time to follow. There's a lot of people emerging right now saying that we should do this and we should do that. And there's all these thought leaders who want to be experts in the world. We see them on TV, we hear them on the radio. And I know that it hopefully comes from a good place, but I have to tell you, leaders also know when to follow. And I think there are certain situations here where we need to follow. We need to follow the protocols. We need to stay healthy. We need to stay healthy so we can take care of the people around us. We can't give what we do not have. So if we're not healthy, if we get sick, then we can't take care of the people around us. We can't help be part of the solution. We become part of the problem, and then we make other people sick. And that's what we're trying to avoid at this point. So I think it's not a matter of knowing all of the answers. It's a matter of knowing what the next step is and taking that step. We're going to figure this out together as we go through it. The best minds in the world are working on this, and I will tell you that America has the resolve and the resilience, the focus to get us through this, and our part in this is to lead with compassion, to lead with creativity, to lead with vision, to step outside of ourselves and to look at the situation and talk to our resources, talk to our banks, talk to our advisors, talk to the people who are on our team, and figure out a plan. You don't need to know all the steps. You just need to know the next one. What can we do right now? What can we do right now? I learned this from my great friend, John Miller, the author of QBQ, The Question Behind the Question. It's always, what action can I take right now? What can I do to create a better outcome? How can I do that? It's not always easy to live it, especially in the midst of hard times, but I promise you, if we'll take one positive action and then another, we can get through this together. Look around you and see the heroes around us. Applaud them, congratulate them, but also look inside and say, where's that hero in me? What can I do to make sure that I'm contributing to the solution? What can I do to re-engineer my thinking? What can I do to take care of the people around me? What we need right now are extraordinary people who choose not to be ordinary. And I am quite confident that you're in that category. Extraordinary people choosing not to be ordinary. This is Kevin Brown. It's been my honor to spend a few minutes with you. I encourage you to do one more thing. Pray. You know, one of the things that, and I'm just going to lean on my faith for a minute. I just think it's important to pray. We should pray for peace. We should pray for understanding. We should pray for wisdom for our leaders. We should pray for creativity. We should pray for guidance. We should pray for each other. There's great power in prayer. And when we come together as a nation who was built upon the foundation of one nation under God, one nation coming together in prayer, we can get through anything. And I promise you we'll get through this. And, you know, here's the other thing that I know. Heroes always find strength in their weak places. Heroes find strength in weak places. Sometimes in the midst of our worst times, sometimes in the midst of our worst failures, in the midst of our worst crisis, we find new strength. We overcome things that we thought were beyond us. We thought they were things that we could not overcome. And we find a way to conquer. We find a way to move forward. We find a way to do things that we didn't even know we had within us. Heroes find strength in their weak places. You're an extraordinary person who chooses not to be ordinary. Thank you for what you do to help us get through this. And thank you for what you do to be the hero for the people around you.